Testing, 1, 2, 3. Now it's on. I've got to turn that on. Yeah. Can we get a thumbs up? Can everybody hear me now? Testing, 1, 2, 3. No thumbs up yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Let me put the ear piercing.
Okay, go ahead and listen. This is on. Testing. Yep, this is on. Yep, testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me all right?
I hear you.
Oh, good. Okay, so you should be able to hear us now.
On now. Yeah, we're
All right, fantastic. Okay, as I was mentioning, welcome to the Cellercise family. Thank you for all your support. We've had a great couple of weeks, wonderful stories. It's always an honor for me to be able to participate in your successes and also in your challenges. And we've had both, and I've been at both ends of the spectrum. So it's a great honor for me to be able to support you as well. And thank you all for your support. So tonight, I'm going to talk about my story a little bit, about what helped inspire me or compelled me to get involved with this industry. But I look at fitness in general, and I think in terms of why do we knock ourselves out? I mean, it's okay if you like to do it, but I think in terms of what I've done, what I've accomplished in my own physical fitness and health, I haven't knocked myself out. I mean, this is, I came up with or coined the term, why work out when you can play in for a reason? I think we make it harder than it needs to be. We can work hard, or we can play hard. I'd rather play hard and enjoy it than think of it as a chore or something I have to go do. So whether you're working hard on the Cellerciser, playing hard on the Cellerciser, incorporating it into something you like to do, like we like to watch television. Please add name. Have you ever seen that before, Justice? I don't know what that's about. But it's fun to be able to watch a television program and Cellercise, enjoy the show, and get the results. So let's go over some reviews. We'll go over some questions. I'll tell my story, and if we have some time, maybe we'll do a little Cellercise session. Okay, Kendall writes, the week before Christmas, I slipped on some ice and broke my ankle. The bone above it, and also tore ligaments, and had to have surgery right away. I can relate to that, Kendall. Had to have a plate and 7 screws put in. I see the surgeon this week to see how it is healing and ask him about the future of my foot. I was doing 15 to 40 minutes a day before the break. I will ask about rebounding, but not sure what he'll say. Update. This was back in 2021 about my ankle. It's now 2025. Well, I love how you did that, Kendall. But as you know from talking to me a number of times, it healed well. Still have the plate, but it doesn't bother me at all. I do rebound every day. I do still have to use the bar all the time, or I get bounced off of the Cellerciser. I've mentioned that to you before. I do watch you every 2 weeks. Glad you are well. Thank you, Kendall. And yes, one of the advantages of the Cellerciser is it doesn't throw you off like typical units will, but when you alter the angle of your body, having a bar to hold on to helps you be able to put more effort into the routine without worrying about falling off. Trish writes, I got my Cellerciser yesterday, and I must say I love them. Really makes rebounding better for me. Thank you for all you do for us. Can't live without my Cellerciser. And thank you, Trish. And I meant to bring some out, but yep, these are the Cellercisers, and they are, I don't know, I love them. I think they're great. We've had some great comments on them. We've had some people that have used the white ones. They love them. We've had some that didn't like them as well. That's okay. Let us know what your feedback is. I want to know so we can decide whether or not we're going to continue with them or we do this as a one-time thing. But I've got, like I said, 12 pairs. So Barbara writes, I love my new Cellerciser shoes. They're so comfortable, and I love the grip. Awesome product and worth the cost. Thank you, Barbara. And, you know, the grip on these things is pretty amazing, even when you go hiking or rock climbing or just, I mean, they're really supportive. So appreciate that. Lenil writes, the Cellerciser is fantastic. In the past, I'd had 2 different brands of trampolines. There is no comparison. The Cellerciser is much better for my body. Thank you, Dave Hall. And thank you, Lenil. I appreciate that. Just briefly, that brought to point, the Cellerciser, my unit that I still jump on and I demonstrate with and I travel with and we all use is over 21 years old now. No one in my family has ever broken one of our springs. The mat material has never needed to be replaced. I say that because we have a great many customers out there who have been using the Cellerciser for well over 20 years, and they're in excellent condition. Now, that being said, you can be hard on a Cellerciser, and I want to tell you a little bit about it because we had somebody who wrote the other day and said, your springs, they've broken. They're all broken. And so they sent me some pictures, and obviously somebody was landing really hard on the springs. That is the only way you're going to fracture our springs. And that can happen. Our steel is extremely strong. It doesn't stretch out like typical springs do. But if you land hard on the spring itself, you can fracture it, and it can break. I've landed on springs, but I don't do it all the time, and I've never broken, ever, one of our springs. But it can be done. However, on the good side, if you're jumping hard or you're doing jumping jacks and you're landing on the springs and you break a spring, we have replacements. You can order new springs. And sometimes conditions are such that kids may need to have that aggressive bounce, and that's okay. Like I said, we've got replacements for it, but they are a great spring, great steel. It's a formula. It's not just steel. You can make all kinds of different types of steel. The formula we've made for our steel is so strong, it destroys conventional spring molds. So we had to create a tungsten steel mold just to be able to produce our spring. But they hold up, they work, and they don't stretch out. So Patrick writes, I think I love the Cellerciser more than anyone else in the whole world. I have consistently applied a philosophical and living and ongoing thought process about it that continues to provide me more and more information and insight into all of the practical and impractical applications and benefits that the Cellerciser provides, that if it were possible to list the benefits entirely, I would literally be able to add more and more benefits to the list on a daily basis without question. Every single problem that people bring up about their bodies or health, I always have to explain why I think the Cellerciser could cure the problem entirely, or at least reduce the severity of the problem significantly. I get that, Patrick. I'm in love with it too. I'm so grateful for it and what it's done for me and for so many of you. Jill writes, I absolutely love my Cellerciser and have for over 10 years, exclamation point. Janet writes, I received the new rubber feet. I talked to Janet a little over, I think it was a week ago. She says, I received the new rubber feet for my streamlined balance bar. So the balance bar has little rubber feet on the very bottom as well. She says, thank you. The picture is of our, you can see this, our 38-year-old parrot, old Amazon parrot. Quito. Quito loves to climb down off his cage and chews the feet completely off the balance bar when no one is watching. Thanks for the speedy replacements. Thanks, Janet. That's fun. D3D writes, I love my Cellerciser. I have the one outside and one inside and watch your live videos on YouTube weekly. I don't miss a day jumping. My sagging neck at 61 years young has tightened up, and I am amazed and thrilled. Oh, thank you, D3D. Okay, let's go into, oh, well, I've got a couple more here, and then we'll read some questions. Okay. Will LaRoe writes, "Hi, we are very excited to receive our Cellerciser. My daughter couldn't believe how different it felt. She's already started using it, and I'm eager to do the same." They've had I'm pretty sure this was the one who had a bungee cord unit, and I said, yeah, it's a different feel. It's not going to be the same. You're going to have more resistance, and that's how we get better results. Okay, I have a few questions based on my personal history. Last year, I received radiation treatment, EBRT, and interstitial brachytherapy, which ended in mid-March. Unfortunately, radiation led to the formation of a fistula, bladder and vaginal canal, that in turn created an abscess that nearly killed me. I was in the hospital for 4 weeks, and then spent almost 2 weeks in a rehabilitation hospital. Shortly thereafter, I had a redirection surgery that left me with a stoma on my right side of my abdomen, not at all that far below the belly button. It has been difficult. I've had a difficult time, but I am determined to completely heal. I've changed my diet and getting more sleep and trying to incorporate the right exercise into my daily routine. I'm much improved since October, but those weeks in the hospital completely deconditioned me. Thankfully, there's no sign of disease, and I want to keep it that way. I know this is probably in the TMI category, but I could use direction and tips on how to start and what not to do. In reviewing the videos that were sent after my purchase, but could still use some help or direction. If it helps, I'm 5'4", 110 pounds, lost quite a bit of weight in the hospital. Thank you so much for your consideration. Awilda. Thank you, Awilda. Okay, there's a number of things that can be really beneficial. And again, if you have a medical condition, consult with your doctor. But these are some of the movements that I would share with the doctor. The gentle movement up and down, where you can kind of tighten a little bit to offer a little additional support. The gentle movement. This is gentle. You can do this watching TV. You want to know how effective it is, though, just take your fingers, put them up here on the trapezius muscles as you're moving up and down. That's occurring throughout your entire body from the top of your head down to the bottom of your foot. So every cell, every muscle, every ligament, every tendon, all your connective tissues and your fascia are all doing this. Yes, you're pumping the lymph system too. But you can do this very gently while the connective tissues from the inside out start to firm up, and we open up blockages, increase circulation. And then as we get better, we can do it just a little bit more. Rocking side to side, very gentle, allowing the hips to drop into the mat. You can actually move your shoulders up and down a little bit. That helps to loosen up. This whole area is doing this. That's a massage. And if that hurts or if that's a challenge, then another thing we can do, come here, Justice, real quick, come on, come here, come on, yep. All right, just sit down right here, lie down, put your feet up here. Can you? All right, now this is important. Go ahead, lie down, put that there. Sorry, this is a little bit of a big pillow, but go ahead. Got it? All right, move your arms out to the side. Normally I would be facing the other way, but what I want you to see is I'm going to push down into the mat. As I'm pushing down into the mat, it's taking all the vertical pressure. He's laying down horizontally. You've got to try this, everyone. You talk about a massage. This is not a surface massage. This is a very deep massage. And you could do it watching, if you position it right, you can watch television. But now as I rock side to side, again, we're taking all that internal structure. We're just massaging it in a way you can't in your normal day-to-day activity because you're always opposing gravity. We just have to release the vertical pressure of gravity laying down horizontally. And now we're massaging all those internal organs as well as the back. And you can do this for about 3 minutes. Gentle moving up and down for about 3 minutes as we're helping to reposition and strengthen all that internal structure. Okay, thank you, Justice. Appreciate it. Give me a handsome looking guy, I tell you. And really, really nice guy. Thanks, Justice. Okay, so those movements can be really helpful. If you try it, let me know. Please share. Okay. Where was I? Oh, yeah. All right. Okay, Trish writes. Hold on, Miss Alisos. Okay. We wrote that one, read that one. We read these, read that. Okay, so last one. Okay, Denise writes, this is wonderful. Thank you for teaching. I'm ready for Mr. Rebounder. I've had my Cellerciser for several years. And thank you, Denise. Yes, Mr. Rebounder app is fun for those of you who know how to use it. The way I like to use the app, and there's a lot of ways I suppose you could use it, but the way I like to use it is I turn on a show, and we watch the show, then we turn on the app, we watch the app only in between movements. So you're watching the show, ding, look, see the next movement, watch the show, ding, next movement, watch the show. And the time just flies by, and you're going through any one of, we've got over 45 routines on the Mr. Rebounder app for beginning, intermediate, advanced, seniors, and you can create your own routines as well. So that's what we like to do. All right, we read that one. Okay, my husband has chemotherapy-induced neuropathy. He said the bouncing hurts his feet. Any suggestions? I think it would benefit so much. He had lymphoma. And yeah, nerve damage can take a long time to heal, I know. Getting sully soles or soft-soled slippers can actually create some additional support. And this has got a lot of cushion there. That can be helpful when we're moving up and down. Not lifting our heels up and down so much, but staying flat-footed on it and gently just bending at the knee, slightly bending at the knee. That can also be helpful without putting as much emphasis on the lower foot, but circulation is important. So that gentle movement, bending at the knees and pushing up and down, might be helpful. Yvonne writes, it was a harsh winter in Ontario, and because of that, I have caused damage behind my right knee using a scoop shovel to move heavy snow. I either tore or damaged a tendon, or it could be a Baker's cyst. It is painful when in motion, and this is altering my gait and balance. I don't get an ultrasound until next week. I've rested it, iced it, compressed and elevated it. What is okay to do on the Cellerciser? I miss getting on it. And Yvonne, this movement here where you lift your heels up and down is going to work that area. You're going to feel a little bit, but it's not jarring, it's not tearing, it's just circulating. So just this gentle movement, barely lifting your heels up and down, can help loosen that area up some. Rocking side to side is another one. You're working the lateral knee, but there's a little bit in the back as you're stretching one leg, you're pushing down into the mat as you rock side to side. So you kind of feel that. And as you're pushing down, it's gentle, but that can be helpful for those ligaments and tendons in the back area as well. Deborah writes, what is the difference between the Cellerciser and another rebounder? Oh, no, nobody planted that. That's a sincere question. I'm glad you asked, though. Okay, because it is important. Cellerciser is different. You've got bungee cord units. I've talked about that. Quite frankly, they're fun, but they're not in the same category. They don't offer the resistance to build the muscle mass, the bone density, pump the lymphatic system that the Cellerciser does. You just don't have the same. It's not the same. They're fun, but it's not the same. Other steel spring units, obviously steel lasts a lot longer, it doesn't stretch out if it's good steel. If it's not good steel, then if it's too soft a formula, of steel, then the steel itself can stretch out, and then you just sink, just like bungee cords do. They stretch out, and when you sink, over time, you don't have enough support in the middle, so the feet can pronate, and that's not good. In addition to that, if the springs are too short or too narrow, or they're not tapered, they're just a little tube springs very often, that can be a problem, because then it doesn't slow you down gradually, it doesn't decelerate, accelerate, it stops abruptly. And that can be very damaging to a person. As if the mat material, and this is true with all mini trampolines, rebounders, if the mat material itself stretches with the spring, then your feet have a tendency to turn in or pronate, because the mat itself stretches. So your spring or bungee cord stretches, the mat stretches, and you're landing, you're leveraging your weight over and over against the ankles and the knees and the hips, and that can cause, and does cause, ankle problems, knee problems, hip problems, and back problems. So the difference in the Cellerciser. The mat material we have is a space-age material made here in the United States. It is a polypropylene where every single fiber is put under nearly 200 tons of pressure. It is so incredibly dense, you can leave it out in the sun, the rain, the snow, it doesn't matter. It's weather resistant. I've had one outside for 18 years, and the mat we still use. The stitching is just now starting to get weak, and I can see that around the edges, but we still use it. I go to the barbecue and stand at the barbecue and look out at the view and bounce. But it's, that mat material is not like canvas, nylon, or plastics, which can look the same, but they rot, they can mildew, and they can rip, and they can stretch out. Cellerciser mat material will not stretch out. I don't care if you're 400 pounds or 30 pounds, obviously you're not going to stretch it out. But that mat material is phenomenal. And yes, it costs more, but that's what you've invested in. The steel in our spring, I told you a little bit about it. We have patented technology. It's a tridaptable spring. It has a larger diameter in the middle of the spring, and then it has a ridge where it tapers, and then another ridge where it tapers again. So, give you an example. You can see there's a ridge right here, and that ridge is what focuses the weight toward the center of the spring, which is what we want. And then there's another ridge before the last couple coils. So if you're using that portion of the spring you need based upon how much you weigh or how high you're jumping. And that's a self-adjusting, adapting spring that slows you down gradually. It doesn't just come to an abrupt stop or jar. It slows you down so that you don't bottom out, and that's important. These are the little tube springs I was talking about. Those things, I believe, can be dangerous. My dad was permanently disabled within a month of jumping up and down on a typical rebounder because it didn't have the right kind of support. So that's a little bit about the difference between the Cellerciser other units. There's other things. The rubber feet don't wear out. They've got a lifetime warranty on them. We drill 36 holes through the frame, put steel pins through the holes, connect the springs to the pins. The frame will last virtually forever. The frame has a lifetime warranty on it. We have 7 rows of 4-ply polyester stitching around the outside of the webbing. That holds the mat and the springs together so that it holds up, and it's warranted to 400 pounds. We use electroplated, not powder-coated painting, because it adheres into the metal. Maybe not as pretty, may not hide all the scratches as well, but it protects the steel. Again, the one I've had outside for 18 years, the paint's oxidized, but there's no rust on it. Now, we don't live near the beach, so high desert, so it doesn't, but it's out in the sun, the snow, yeah, and it's still there, it still works. Do your Celli soles provide arch support? Okay, we have the Celli soles that are more like a slipper, and the slipper, it just basically has rubber in the front, rubber in the heel, and then we have these, the black ones, which have got a whole support right in the ball of the foot, which I really like. I really like that. So yes, this one does. The other one is more like a slipper sock. People like both of them. So I can't use a slipper sock one because my feet are too big, but share your experiences with it. If my hubby, who is 240 pounds, uses the Cellerciser, will he stretch out the springs? Nope, he will not. Samantha writes, Samantha, I think I have a pinched nerve in my shoulder blade or neck, not sure which one, from lifting too much weight. It is making my index finger and thumb tingle. It's driving me crazy. This is going on 2 weeks. I've tried several exercises on the Cellerciser, but still it hasn't stopped. Any suggestions? Yes, Samantha, I don't know what you're doing, but feel free to give me a call. There are movements that can be helpful, such as cupping underneath the elbow, pulling your shoulder. We should do this regularly anyway. It's great for the back and the shoulder blades. And you get to the point where you feel a little resistance, just stop, hold the position, and bounce. The bouncing is helping to open up that area. Do this. You can do the same thing on the other side. And it just offers that stretch. You can do things like this, which also help to stretch and open up as well. So things like this. A lot of these are in the Mr. Rebounder app, but this is all working on the shoulders and the back. There's more, but those are some of the basic techniques that can be effective. Yeah, those shoulder blades. When you get a pinch in the shoulder blade, that's tough. This one here, I know when I did that, goofing around, landing on my back, and none of the physical therapy that I went to helped. But when I got on this Cellerciser and I did this movement here and for several days and bounced up and down, it went away. So I was really grateful. What is the best movement for losing fat and get rid of cellulites? How long sessions? What to expect? Some visual improvement if you're not overweight. Okay, Elizabeth, good question. A lot of that has to do with circulation and opening up capillaries, generating heat. It can take time, but we've had, some women have had great success doing the Jumbo run. It's intense, but it's intense. But it was really going to work all these muscles, and that's just turning on a show and doing repetitions of this. It's intense. It's going. You can feel that. It'll be burning very quickly, and when it burns, it's going to be opening up circulation too. And when you're done with the first set, do the baby bounce. Then you can go and do it again. When you do the Jumbo run, I encourage people, when you get to that level, is to do the deep squats. And the way I often do it is I put my hand on a table, I bend down, jump up, come down, jump up, come down, jump up, come down. But when you're leaning forward, you can do it real quick. And it opens up the knee area as well. Yes, Justice.
Giovanni says, thank you, Dave, for demonstrating on the Cellerciser. What is okay to do for trauma behind the knee?
Yeah, trauma behind the knee. That's the one we were talking about a little bit. It's just as gentle. When you're rocking side to side, you can regulate the amount of weight you put on your leg, because as I rock, I straighten this leg out. I'm pushing my heel down into the mat. As I rock to the other side, I straighten this leg up, put my heel down to the mat. So as I'm rocking and I'm pushing down, I'm working the back of the knee and getting a little bit of that stretch. I'm pushing the heel down into the mat as I straighten the leg. Yes, Justice.
Sylvia says, Dave, I do hard jumps as well. Jumping jacks, followed your active advice not to go near springs. Don't have any problems. When are we going to have squat workout?
Yeah, well, you want a squat workout? Okay. I will put that, let's do that next time. Let's do really? Okay, we'll do a squat workout, but we'll do it on levels. So we'll start off with a program such as just basics. To warm up the knee, we'll do some warm-ups with the knee area, and then we'll do some sit and bounces just like that. So standing up, sitting down, and then we'll do some of the Cellercise squats. And yeah, let's make it fun. Let's see how many people can do, because it's really intense. We'll do some repetitions of it, but that's great. And yes, you will feel it. You'll love it. You'll hate it. I'll put together a Mr. Rebounder routine that we can do. I don't have the squats yet on the routine, so we'll put together something. Thank you. That'd be fun. Yeah, and boy, you'll feel it, but it's wonderful for strengthening the knees. Really, I mean, that gives you like bionic knees. And it opens up the knee too, so they become more flexible, which is kind of neat. All right. And how long the sessions on the Jamba run? Repetitions of it. So in the Jamba run, you do the run until you're tired. Go 30 seconds, go a minute if you can. You can get to the point where you do 2 minutes. It's more mental than physical at that point when you're strong enough to do that. It's tough, but it's great. And then do the baby bounce in between while you pump more fluid circulation back to the big engines. And then you can do it again. And then that is very effective. Okay. You'll love it and hate it. We all do, but it works. Okay, Lily writes, I still have a tight, achy neck and trapezius that have spasmic pain randomly for 2 weeks now. Can you show me an exercise for this? Please show where your hand is touching the neck and shoulder when you show it from behind, as I'm not clear when you demo with your hands behind you. Justice, can you zoom in on this so that we can see it? So on the neck and the hands, this area, we put our fingers right along the vertebral joints here of the neck, and as we're moving up and down, we're doing circular movements with our fingers into the vertebrae. You can tilt a little bit and do it, tilt the other direction a little bit and do it. Reach up underneath where the atlas is, the skull connects to the atlas, and you can massage that. Often there's tension in that area. You can keep massaging it. It might be a little painful, but that tension goes away as you release the tension on the vertebral, on the atlas itself. So you're working that whole area. You can, and that'll help. The hip rock, this one here, that's working the shoulders, the trapezius muscles, the deltoids, everything, just rocking side to side. So that can be really helpful too, because you're kind of stretching a little bit as you come down. So it's just feel a little bit of that stretch. And then holding our posture in the proper position. So as we're moving up and down, on the baby bounce, this is a good reminder for all of us. As we're gently moving up and down, tighten the core, lift up the chest, roll the shoulders back a little bit, and pull the chin in. And then balance in this position so the muscles flex around the proper alignment. And that over time, that can help improve our posture. Okay. How long does it take to build your muscle? Okay, let's talk about that briefly, because we have building muscle is generally what weightlifters do. And that's more of a sport. And yeah, you can build muscles. What you're basically doing when you're doing weightlifting, for example, is you're tearing down the muscle. You're tearing it down. They say do it every other day because the body has to repair itself. So you tear a cell membrane. The body patches that tear with a protein patch. And then you tear the patch, and it patches a patch, and so on and so forth, and you build the bigger muscles. But it's a sport. We're the only species in the world that does that. And in the animal kingdom, you see lots of strong animals, and they don't go tearing down to build up. We don't have to do that. Now, they'll get stronger if you do that, but you also risk damaging ligaments, tendons, as well as muscles, because they are being damaged and they become harder. You can lose timing, flexibility, speed, coordination. Yeah, you're strong, no question. But over time, accumulatively, that's going to take a lot out of you too, and it can be damaging. So on a Cellerciser, when we build muscles, a little different. We're also working on the ligaments and the tendons. Now, you look at a dog or a cat, they don't have great big huge muscles, but they can leap over a fence. I mean, wow, that's strength. We have that same potential or ability to improve our strength at the ligament and the tendon level. Cellercise helps to do that, especially when you do the resistance movements that I teach. So when you're doing an arm curl, for example, you're not tearing down to build up. You're putting resistance on the arm and you're doing a curl count. 1, 2, down, 1, 2, 2, 2, down, 2, 2. You're working the front part of the arm, but you're also working the back part of the arm just by doing those movements. And you can do the same thing with the chest and with the back and the shoulders. But you're not tearing down to build up. You can do it every day, several times a day if you want. And you're building a very healthy muscle. You're not tearing it down. You're just building it up. The ligaments and tendons are getting stronger too. I think I talked about this last time, but with weightlifting or bodybuilding, when you tear down, you build bigger muscles, but then the ligaments and tendons catch up. So they're stronger, and the muscle begins to shrink. You think, oh, I need to increase the weight because I'm losing the muscle, when in reality, you're just as strong. It's just that the ligaments and the tendons have caught up. And there's an enormous amount of strength in our ligaments and tendons. Yes, Justice?
Anna says, what's Cellerciser exercise for a tight pelvic floor?
For a tight pelvic floor, okay. The gentle rocking side to side, where you just kind of lift the heels up or the shoulders up and down. This one here is going to work that whole abdominal region, that whole area, to help loosen it up. And then, because everything is, it's weight bearing, but it's also increasing in movement or flexibility. So this one here is good. This one here, just doing a gentle twist. And as you're gently twisting, you're working that whole region of the body as well from the inside out. So those I don't know anything that would be better. Anything else? Okay. All right, so no more questions. We've been through this. I don't know what our TV is doing up here, Justice. I've never seen it do that before. Because I was going to see if we could do a little routine. But if anybody else has any comments or any other questions, please feel free to share them with us. Oh, my goodness. They did an upgrade, it looks like, on our this Rebounder app. Okay. There we go. All right, so let's do for anybody who's interested, we're going to do Dr. Lynn Linder, number 2, routine. And let's do it. And there we go. And I think, let's see, is that an intermediate or advanced? Yes, in the advanced area, the Mr. Rebounder app, if you have the Mr. Rebounder app, you can do that later. But we've got, it's a good little 12-minute program. And it's just a good way to end the day. So let's do that. And I don't know if we're going to end up having music or not. Well, we should. So we'll start with the health bounce. And you can, let's see if they can see the screen, Justice. I'll turn that down a little bit. A little bit more. There we go. Okay.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
Yvonne says, I find my knee brace helps to support my injuries. Is it better to baby box with or without it?
No, with it. Yeah. While you're building up your knees or ankle, it's great to have a little knee brace there. It's helping to hold everything in place, a little additional support, while you strengthen all the ligaments, tendons, and tissue to catch up. And then you'll be able to remove that. But yeah, I know that through personal experience too. That's great. Okay. Another 10 seconds of the baby bounce, kind of let the body relax a little bit. And this is Dr. Lynn Linder's program. She actually put this together. And if you want to put together a routine and submit it to us, we can look at a routine if you have one that you really like. With the Mr. Rebounder app, you can create routines. So you have a library of, how many different movements? 65 different movements that you can combine to create different routines. Okay, so I like to do the shoulders a little bit on this. So I'm doing a little differently than he is now. But that helps to loosen up the back, the vertebral joints, kind of lift your chest high, keep that posture high as you're doing that, so we can kind of open up the vertebral joints, loosen up those muscles, and increase circulation to those discs. Now, I can tell you something. I feel that when I do this first thing in the morning, it makes a difference in the back all day long. If I don't do it, yeah, I feel stiffer. All right. Okay, now the twist. This is great because this is targeting the smooth muscles, digestion, elimination. Nobody's dealing with that enough. But as you're gently twisting, moving up and down, you have enough resistance that you're massaging the liver, the kidneys, the spleen, the gallbladder, the pancreas, the adrenals, obviously the colon, the intestines, and the lower back. It's the second most important activity I teach people we can do on the Cellerciser every day. And if you want to work the upper back a little bit, just throw those elbows out and just do a little gentle twist in the upper back too. Just start off easy. This works great when you're working with chiropractors, especially when you just do the baby bounce, because the muscles are flexing around the new alignment without pulling them out of alignment. Okay, power breathing. And when you first start doing that, you might feel like it's a little bit sensitive in the lungs and the bronchial tubes, because it's a literal exercise for the lungs. If you like to sing and you do that, you'll hear your voice changes for singing or speaking. This is great for anybody who really relies on their voice. So if it's in front of the camera or you're a singer or performer, that can be really helpful. Okay, so just a moderate jog. You just kind of want to lift your knees up. That's working the core as well. But we're pumping the lymph system. We're pumping the circulatory systems. Okay, hip rock. If you tighten your core, tighten your stomachs and your obliques, just kind of tighten while you're rocking side to side, it's going to tighten and tone and strengthen those muscles. All right, Jamba run. Want to keep your back straight, feet flat. You're pushing down into the mat. You're not lifting your feet up off the mat. Now, on the Jamba walk, you can. On the Jamba run, you can too. It just whatever you feel comfortable with. If you want to go like that, nothing wrong. You can do that too. All right, gentle twist. Again, working all those internal organs. This one can also be helpful in this scapula area, shoulder blades. All right, stomach muscles. Health bounce. I like the way Dr. Linder put this together because she gives some real good time for the body to recover after the movements. And this is one of those ones where I'd be watching a television show, I listen for the ding, and then I do the different movements. So kicking legs out back behind you leverages your body weight right here. So it helps to lift, tighten, tone, and strengthen the whole backside. Okay, hip rock again. Loosen up those hips some. Yeah. Power breathing. Okay, that was a lot of power breathing. When you first start doing that, do half as many. You can do 5 or 6 of them because it's a literal exercise for the bronchial tubes and the lungs. So most people, including me when I began, would sound a little wheezy in those bronchial tubes. This helps to open up the bronchial tubes. It gets more oxygen to the other 1/3 of the lung that most people don't get enough oxygen to. This is what I should have started off with before I did the presentation tonight, because it opens up everything, including the voice. So hold on to the bar if you need to. That's what it's there for. And this should feel good. We're pumping everything. We're pumping the circulatory system. We're pumping the lymphatic system. We're helping to increase circulation between all the bones and the joints without any jarring. Some of you have been with me for over 20 years, and I really appreciate you. And you've experienced the results. I think it's something we want to all do every day of our life if we can. Now you can regulate this by how far you sit down into it also. So if you sit down a little further, it's going to be a little more intense. Kind of tighten the buttocks as you push down into that mat. and a little twist. A variation of the twist here is to keep your waist straight ahead and just work in the hip socket area where that sciatic nerve wraps around. This can help loosen up that joint and those muscles. All right, stomach. This leverages more weight. This is much more intense than just doing a sit-up. You're coming down with weight up, and that leverages more weight on the stomach muscles. If you tilt your head back a little bit, you work the neck and underneath the chin too. We're almost done. So that was gentle, fun way of being able to help balance the body up, stimulate it, target certain areas. All right, lower back. A more advanced variation of this. And this is the last movement. So kind of a cool down, kind of relax. And one of the neat things about Cellercise, you didn't miss a single area of your body. You got every single muscle group throughout the entire body, over 100 times a minute. So it's effective. Thank you. Have a great week. Feel free to give me a call if I can be of any help. If you think that this is valuable, please share it with others. We would love and love being able to grow the Cellercise family. Remember, you don't need to work out when you can play. And Justice has one more question. Yes?
Sylvia says, Dave, I saw a few squat workouts on YouTube, but I want your workout. You put rest time in between the workout, which helps to continue with the routine.
Thank you. So basically talking about having respites in between each movement so that we can lower the intensity, maintain the intensity, but also give the body more time to recover, then do it again, recover, do it again. So I look forward to working on that the next time we meet. Thank you. Have a terrific week. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Take care.